Hey everyone, and welcome back. You ever get that feeling like there's this cool new gadget everyone's going crazy for, but you're just not sure if it's actually, you know, all that?
I know exactly what you mean.
Well, that's where we come in. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of e-bikes,
Oh, nice.
specifically the Gazelle Eclipse.
Okay.
This thing is being marketed as a potential car replacement.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that.
Wow.
But it's also sporting a price tag around $5,000.
Oh.
So, yeah, we're going to need some serious convincing.
Yeah.
We've got a stack of sources to help us unpack this thing. Marketing materials, some in-depth video reviews, and even a few whispers from the e-bike enthusiast community.
Oh, cool.
So buckle up, because we're about to find out if the Gazelle Eclipse lives up to the hype,
Okay.
and more importantly, if it's the right e-bike for you.
What's interesting right off the bat is how Gazelle is really pushing that luxury image with the Eclipse.
Yeah.
They're not just talking about getting from A to B. It's more like they're painting this picture of like new smells, new colors, new places, new roads,
Yes.
you know?
No.
It's very much a deliberate appeal to a certain kind of rider, someone who wants more than just basic transportation.
Yeah, they're definitely playing up the whole experience, and they're not shying away from bold claims either.
No.
Boundless adventure, they say. It's got the most powerful motor in its class.
Wow.
That's the Bosch Performance Speed, for those who know their e-bikes, and a massive 750 watt-hour battery.
Wow.
They're even claiming a range of up to 80 miles on a single charge.
And to be fair, those specs are impressive for this type of e-bike.
Okay.
I mean, 85 Newton meters of torque.
Okay.
That's the power behind the motor, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Means you could be tackling hills, no problem, without breaking a sweat, even loaded up with groceries, gear, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that 750 watt-hour battery, that translates to less range anxiety,
Right.
which is a big deal, obviously, for anyone who wants to, rely on their e-bike for daily commutes or longer adventures.
Right.
But of course, the real test is always in the real-world performance.
Exactly. Marketing hype is one thing, but does it actually live up to those claims?
Right.
That's what we're here to find out.
Exactly.
Now, I know not everyone out there is an e-bike expert.
Right.
So let's break down some of these features and what they actually mean for, the riding experience.
For sure. One that caught my eye was the Enviolo hub.
Okay.
Okay, so picture this. You're shifting gears, right? But instead of those clunky jumps or having to anticipate when to shift,
Right.
it's like turning a volume dial.
Oh, okay.
Super smooth, super seamless.
Nice.
That's what the Enviolo hub does.
Oh, okay.
And it makes a huge difference, especially for like city riding where you're constantly starting and stopping.
And to make things even smoother, there's the belt draft.
Oh, yeah.
No more greasy chains to worry about.
Right.
I mean, who wants to get their hands dirty like every other ride?
Exactly.
This thing is designed for a clean, quiet ride. But I'm guessing there's a trade-off somewhere down the line.
There always is.
Right.
Belt drives are known for their durability, their low maintenance,
Right.
but they often come with a higher upfront cost.
Oh.
In the case of the Gazelle Eclipse, you're looking at about a $500 price difference compared to the model with a traditional chain and derailleur setup.
So there's a decision point right there.
Right.
Spend a bit more up front for less hassle down the line.
Right.
Or save some cash and be prepared to get your hands dirty every now and then.
Exactly.
Speaking of trade-offs, I noticed the reviewer mentioning the bike's weight.
Yeah.
A hefty 60 pounds.
Oh, wow.
He even said he wouldn't want to carry it up a flight of stairs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm picturing myself trying to lug that thing up to my third-floor apartment, and let me tell you, it's not a pretty picture.
Yeah.
So maybe not the best choice for everyone, even if they are, aiming for that car replacement lifestyle.
And that's a key point. Who is this e-bike really for? It might be marketed as a car replacement, but practicality-wise, it's not a one-to-one swap.
Right.
Like if you're someone who frequently navigates stairs or public transportation, that weight could be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
On the other hand, if you've got secure bike storage and mostly stick to the open road,
Right.
it might not be an issue.
Good point. It's all about finding the right fit for your lifestyle.
Exactly.
And speaking of security, Gazelle has packed this thing with safety features.
Oh, really?
Integrated lights.
Okay.
Powerful 4-piston brakes.
Hmm.
Those are important for a heavier bike like this.
Yeah.
And even a built-in GPS tracker. They're really targeting those safety-conscious urban riders.
Absolutely. That GPS tracker in particular, that speaks volumes about their target audience. It's peace of mind for the car-avoidant urbanite. And it's not just about practicality. It's about that premium experience. They've thought of everything.
Right.
Well, almost everything.
Almost. What did they miss?
Well, the reviewer pointed out that a rigid seat post on a 60-pound bike might not be the most comfortable for everyone, especially on longer rides. It's those smaller details, that can make or break the riding experience, even on a luxury e-bike.
That's true. And it brings up another good point. Even with a high-end bike like this, there might be areas where you want to consider upgrades or customizations based on your needs.
Right.
Like maybe a suspension seat post for added comfort?
Yeah.
Speaking of customization, one detail I really liked was the mic rack system.
Okay.
Talk about convenience.
Yeah.
You can easily attach baskets, panniers, even a child seat. It just adds to the whole car replacement appeal.
It does. But it also brings us back to that question. Who is this e-bike really for?
Right.
Is it a practical car replacement for the masses or a niche product for a specific type of rider with a certain budget and lifestyle?
Right.
We'll dig into that more after a quick break.
It's all about aligning those expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Eclipse isn't trying to be the cheapest e-bike on the market.
Right.
It's not trying to be the sportiest. And it's not even going for most portable, as we've discussed.
Right.
It's aiming for a very specific niche. Riders who prioritize comfort, convenience, and quality.
Right. Like that friend with impeccable taste who spares no expense on the finer things in life, You admire their style, but you also know their way of life isn't for everyone. Exactly. And that's where those seemingly insignificant details, like the rigid seat post, become much more important.
Right.
They can either enhance or detract from the riding experience depending on, individual needs and preferences.
Totally. Even with a luxury e-bike, there's still room for personal touches and upgrades.
For sure.
Speaking of which, I remember the video review highlighted the Eclipse's off-road capabilities.
Okay.
Gravel paths, rail trails. I even took it on some light trails. Kind of surprising for what we've heard so far, right?
That's Gazelle demonstrating the Eclipse's versatility.
Right.
They're not just targeting city dwellers, but also appealing to riders who want a bike that can handle a variety of terrains and riding conditions.
Right. It's like having your cake and eating it too, though I imagine there are limits.
Of course, yeah.
With those beefy tires and front suspension, it seems like it could handle a bumpy dirt road or two.
Yeah, right.
But let's be real. It's not meant to be a hardcore mountain bike.
Precisely. Managing expectations is key.
Right.
The Eclipse is built for comfort and convenience, not necessarily for, tackling extreme off-road trails. Think of it more like a luxury SUV,
Okay.
It can handle some light off-roading, but you wouldn't take it rock crawling.
Okay, so not a rock crawler. Got it. But for cruising around town, maybe some weekend adventures on smoother trails, it seems like the Eclipse could be a good fit, especially for those who, value comfort and ease of use.
Absolutely. And that's where those car replacement aspirations start to make more sense. It's about offering a comparable level of comfort and convenience, but with the added benefits of cycling.
Sure.
Fresh air, exercise, and a reduced environmental impact.
Definitely. And let's not forget the joy of cycling, that feeling of freedom and exhilaration you just can't get from being stuck in traffic. But let's bring this back to our listener. You're considering this big purchase, maybe even picturing yourself gliding through the streets or exploring scenic trails on this sleek e-bike. What are some key takeaways you should consider before, taking the plunge?
First and foremost, your budget.
Right.
$5,000 is a significant investment.
Yeah.
It's crucial to, ensure it aligns with your financial goals and priorities.
Right. As tempting as it is to splurge on the latest and greatest, don't drain your emergency fund for a fancy e-bike.
Exactly. Second, your riding style and needs. Are you primarily a city commuter, a weekend adventurer, or a bit of both?
Right.
The Gazelle Eclipse might excel in certain areas while potentially falling short in others.
Sure.
Align your expectations with its strengths.
And don't forget those personal preferences. That rigid seat post might not be a deal breaker for everyone.
Right.
But it's definitely something to consider if you prioritize comfort for those longer rides.
Right.
Maybe budget in an upgrade right off the bat.
Absolutely. And finally, don't underestimate the power of community. The Gazelle International Owners Group you mentioned provides a platform for connecting with fellow riders, sharing experiences, and getting valuable insights, the kind of stuff you won't find in marketing materials.
It's like having a direct line to people who've already been there, done that, and can offer real-world advice and support. I bet there are tons of tips in there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of community, one comment from the group that caught my eye was someone mentioning they used their Gazelle Eclipse for group rides.
Oh, cool.
Could you imagine a whole crew of these sleek e-bikes cruising down the road?
That paints a vivid picture. It speaks to the social aspect of cycling, which often gets overlooked. E-bikes, in particular, have this incredible ability to, level the playing field, allowing riders of different ages and fitness levels to ride together comfortably.
Yeah, it's like that feeling of riding bikes with friends as a kid, but with a modern, eco-friendly twist.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe the Gazelle Eclipse is the key to unlocking a whole new level of social cycling adventures.
Perhaps, yeah.
It's exciting to consider the possibilities.
For sure.
But for now, let's shift gears and address some of the more practical considerations like maintenance and ownership costs.
Okay.
A bike this sophisticated, even with those low maintenance features, requires the right kind of care, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
The good, the maybe not so good, and the downright cool
Right.
about the Gazelle Eclipse.
Right.
But it's time to talk about the long game.
Okay.
Keeping this thing running smoothly,
Mm-hmm.
because even the fanciest e-bike needs some TLC, right?
Absolutely. Regular maintenance is key for any e-bike.
Right.
But, some are definitely more demanding than others, and that's where some of the Eclipse's design choices really shine.
Okay.
Remember that belt drive we were geeking out about earlier?
How could I forget? No more greasy chains. Sign me up.
Hmm.
But how does it hold up over time?
That's the beauty of it. A high-quality belt drive, like the Gates carbon belt drive on the Eclipse, is built to last.
Yeah.
We're talking tens of thousands of miles.
Wow.
Potentially even outlasting traditional chains.
Really?
And they require way less maintenance, no lubrication, no rust worries.
So that's really a set it and forget it kind of deal.
Well, not entirely. Even with a belt drive, you'll need to do some basic checks now and then.
Sure.
Make sure the belt tension is good.
Right.
Inspect it for any, wear and tear.
Okay.
But compared to a traditional chain, it's a walk in the park.
Right.
Of course, there's that trade-off we talked about, cost.
Right, that initial investment. But it sounds like it could pay off in the long run.
Exactly.
With fewer trips to the bike shop.
Exactly. And it's not just about the belt drive.
Right.
The Eclipse has hydraulic disc brakes,
Okay.
which are, known for their reliability, their stopping power.
Right.
Plus, they require less maintenance than traditional rim brakes.
Oh, okay.
Which is a nice bonus.
And considering this e-bike weighs in at 60 pounds,
Yeah.
those powerful brakes are probably a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to stop that on a dime with some, wimpy brakes.
Right.
Especially if it's loaded up with, groceries or gear. Yikes.
Let's not test that theory.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's all part of that car replacement idea.
Right.
Gazelle has clearly prioritized safety and reliability.
Right.
Which makes sense considering their target audience. They're going for those riders who want a premium, hassle-free experience.
It's like that peace of mind you get with a well-maintained car.
Exactly.
You expect it to start every time you turn the key.
Right.
And handle whatever comes your way.
Right.
But you still get, regular checkups, right?
Exactly. Even with all the bells and whistles, even with those low-maintenance features,
Sure.
any e-bike needs regular checkups.
Right.
Tire pressure, brake pads, the electrical system.
Okay.
It's always better to, catch small issues before they become big problems.
Right. So it's more like this bike might make those maintenance tasks a little less frequent.
Right.
A little less messy, maybe.
For sure.
But it's still part of, responsible ownership.
Precisely. And that's something, potential buyers should factor in.
Right.
But overall, it seems like Gazelle has gone to great lengths to create a bike that's both durable and enjoyable to own in the long run.
Well, there you have it. We've unpacked the marketing claims, dissected the specs, and explored the real-world implications of owning a Gazelle Eclipse.
We did.
Now it's your turn to decide. Is this the e-bike that's going to, revolutionize your commute, fuel your adventures,
All right.
and maybe even turn you into a social cycling superstar?
Only one way to find out.
That's right.
But no matter what you decide, I think we can all agree that e-bikes are changing the way we think about transportation, recreation,
Right?
and even community,
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting.
It is. Absolutely. So until next time, happy riding, everyone.
The Herd Podcast is produced by the Gazelle International Owners Group on Facebook. The managing editor and executive producer is Gary Fujioka Sr.